She is considered the perfect, elegant maid. She is thought to be a vampire hunter, and legend has it that the eloquent maid will strike any who dares mouth the word pads. Others may consider her a lolicon. To me, I'll call her Sakuya Izayoi. Hello, Magi, and welcome back to another episode of Character Profile, the series where I take an in-depth look at the cast of the series, from games, print works, fan-related stuff, and anything else that could be attributed to Sakuya will be discussed in this video series. In the last video, we talked about the red and white, donation-seeking, yokai-busting shrine maiden, Reimu Hakare. If you recalled at the end of the video, I asked which of the three girls you wanted for the next video, Sakuya, Yomu, or Sanae, and from the looks of it, Sakuya had won. For everyone who voted for Sakuya, this one is for you guys. So without further ado, let's begin the character profile, Sakuya Izayoi. Name and their meaning. Sakuya's full name is Sakuya Izayoi, which was given to her by Rumelia Scarlet. The character for Izayoi literally means 16th night. It refers to the night just after that of the full moon. Sakuya means flowering night. The Japanese word for last night can also read as Sakuya, which would point towards the night of the full moon. The word for night of the new moon can also be read as Sakuya, which is possibly related to the ability to manipulate time. The word Izayoi has come to mean 16th night from the expression Izayu Suki, where Izayu means not to progress, proceed forward at all, which might have a deeper connection to her ability as well. Looks like Rumelia was on point when she gave Sakuya her name, given the meanings it represents. Character appearance. Being an important character in the series, she has appeared quite often. Her look is not always the same, so here we'll talk about what she looked like in the beginning and any changes she had throughout the series. In her first appearance in EOSD, she was seen with bright red eyes, silver hair worn in long braids on both sides of her face with green bows at the ends and a white maid headband. She wears a pink/white and dark blue French maid's outfit with an apron, short sleeves, and a green ribbon. She is also seen carrying 3 knives, and the phrase red magic appears to be embroidered on her left sleeve. In PCB, there were some changes. When choosing her, she appears to have gray eyes, blue colored long sleeves, and a red scarf. She also has red shoes and 2 knives, 1 blue and 1 red. However, her appearance in-game shows her having blue eyes. She's wearing such clothing because it was effectively winter during the game. One thing to note is that her eye color is very inconsistent, as you'll soon see. Her appearances in Immaterial, Imperishable, and Scarlet Weather are very similar. Sakuya is seen with grey eyes and once again wearing short sleeves. She appears to have a thin black ribbon on the maid's outfit. However, in Imperishable, she holds a knife and an old stopwatch, whereas in Scarlet Weather she has 3 knives and a plate with cups and a teapot on it. The color of her eyes changes with each work. In Phantasmagoria, A Flower View, she has dark blue eyes and long sleeves. The Roman numerals for 1 through 12 line the button of her apron. Her alternative outfit in Immaterial and Scarlet Weather is mainly light blue with her white apron, and her hair is light green. In Phantasmagoria, her outfit is mainly dark red instead of dark blue. Appearance in game. While Sakuya isn't in everything like Reimu and Marissa, she's still been around a bit. Her first appearance would be in EOSD, where she was the stage 5 boss. She later reappeared as the stage 6 mid-boss, hoping to stop you, and we all know how that turned out. Her next appearance was that in PCB, where she became the 3rd playable character. She showed up in the next game, Immaterial, which was the series' first fighting game. She appeared once more in Imperishable, with Rumelia as well due to the partner system. The two belong to the visionary Scarlet Double Team. She also showed up in Phantasmagoria, the series' 2nd Damaku PvP game. She did show up in Shoot the Bullet, but as a boss for Aya, stage 7. She was also in Immaterial, Scarlet Weather, and Hiso Tensoko. Hiso Tensoko was a bit different as she was only a playable character, it didn't have a story mode. She did appear in Mei Ling's ending though. Sakuya appeared in Hopeless, but she was only a background character. Her last playable appearance as of now was in DDC, and fans around the world rejoiced when the elegant maid came back to reclaim her playable status. I would have been one, except I wasn't into the series much back then. Her last game appearance was in Impossible Spellcard, where she was the 7th day boss. Now when it comes to print work, she's been in quite a few. Her first appearance in the print work would have been in Bohemian, where Aya interviews her. She shows up in Extra of the Wind, but it's only a cameo. In seasonal dream vision, a beautiful flower blooming violet every 60 years, she's a secondary character. She's also in Perfect Memento as a Q makes an article about her. Sakuya has been in all the Sangetsusei series, meaning the ones with the 3 fairies of light, including the newest one, Visionary. She was also seen in Silent Sinner as a secondary character. In Inaba of the Moon and Inaba of the Earth, she was a secondary character as well. In Walden Hornherm, she's had quite a few appearances in it, showing up in at least 5 chapters, some as important characters while others as a cameo. She was also in Forbidden Scrollery chapter 3 and 6. Personality. When it comes to Sakuya's personality, it tends to be a little spacey, but it's unknown if it's just an act. Her behavior is that of an easygoing person, and although her personality can be seen as perfectly elegant, she possesses a little deviation that she's extra cautious about, her inability to eat hot foods. From the dictionary, elegance means refined, graceful. Refined means cultured in manners and taste as well as appearance, and graceful means sensible, sophisticated, neat, and without filth. Looks like you learned a few new words. Kinda. She uses humble speech to her mistress Rumelia Scarlet and her friend Patchouli Knowledge, and uses less formal speech to other people. As for her age, Zune directly stated that she plays the role of a human maid about 10 to 20 years old, and perhaps she's a character in her early teens. And in Perfect Memento in strict sense, according to AQ, she claims to be in her late teens, but acts with the mannerism of someone, and the level of her ability seems like that of a human that's been living for more than 100 years. According to a quote from Rumelia and Sakuya's ending in Imperishable Night, Sakuya has been working at the Scarlet Devil Mansion for so long, Rumelia doesn't feel it fitting to call her human. With a comment like that, it seems safe to assume that she's been at the Scarlet Devil Mansion for an extremely long time. Yeah, her age is tricky to be honest. Occupation / jobs. As the head maid, she oversees all the fairy maids as the only human maid. The other maids have many perks to their jobs and rarely choose to leave, even though they are not paid or given vacations. However, they are nearly useless and most of the work is done by Sakuya alone, which would be impossible if she didn't stop or slow time. It makes you wonder why the bloody hell those fairies are there to begin with. She shops at the human village, but she is cold towards other humans and has no friends there. However, ever since Rumelia was beaten by the heroine of EOSD, Sakuya has been opening herself up more. At the time of EOSD, she merely worked at the Scarlet Devil Mansion in return for food. Continuing in Imperishable, she did not worry at all about the clothing, food, or housing and felt satisfied. Meanwhile, she is utterly devoted to her mistress. She's constantly seeking out new varieties of tea flavors for Rumelia to try, as shown in several official works. For example, she mentions in Phantasmagoria that with so many flowers around, she can make as much tea and as much pastries as she wants. Flowers have been often used to provide flavoring for teas, especially in the past, and are still the basis of jasmine tea. Theoretically, Sakuya is the 5th character to serve as a maid in Touhou. The other maid characters are Rukoto, Mugetsu, Yumiko, and Alice. However, due to the fact that Mugetsu is probably not a maid, Sakuya would be the 4th maid in the series. Titles. As you would expect from Sakuya, a lot of her titles will have maid in them, so be prepared. We have the Perfect and Elegant Servant, Perfect and Elegant Maid, Dangerous Illusionist, Maid of the Evening Storm, Maid of the Vampire, Maid of the Devil, Maid of the Scarlet Devil, Maid of the Lightning Speed, and the most famous of her titles, Maid of the Scarlet Devil Mansion. Possessions, if any. She possesses a great amount of silver throwing knives and is skilled at handling them, and with only her ability to manipulate time, she is skilled in conjuring knives from nowhere. Her throwing range is said to be 20 ken or about 36 meters or 39.8 yards, and has the accuracy such that she's able to strike an apple on the forehead of a fairy. Okay there, Sakuya Hood. A portion of her throwing knife ability is within her cooking ability and therefore is very skilled at cooking as well. She's able to conjure knives in battle as the Mako as well. In the games, despite Sakuya showing to make knives appear mysteriously when time is stopped, her artwork in the Grimoire of Marissa shows that she's placing the knives physically. Yes, if you're seeing this picture right now, every knife that you see is one she had personally laid out. I ain't going to lie, this must be tedious as fuck. Having to pause time every time you were throwing a billion knives or so. I'll give her props on that. Now she does have one more weapon, and it's the bewitched weapon she carried in DDC, the Silver Blade. It's a blade Sakuya used in the game. It never got dull and it made Sakuya go a little loopy. as she kept wanting to use it on the yokais, and even they got scared. At the time, it became a Tsukumogami from the Miracle Mallet, and that's where it got its magical powers. But it was explained by Raiko that Sakuya could replace the power the Silver Blade currently obtained from the Miracle Mallet to hers, but she had declined, stating that if she did, the blade would be too powerful. A knife with a little drizzle of Sakuya's time manipulation. That's probably a good thing Sakuya didn't do so. Abilities/powers. Time, no pun intended, although that's a little too late for that, to talk about her abilities. Sakuya possesses the ability to manipulate time, go figure, which she's able to control the flow of time, such as speeding up time, slowing it down, erasing it, and stopping time altogether. She can also compress the flow of time to make both past and future to exist at the same time, making the same object from different timelines be in many places simultaneously. That in itself can be a headache. The extent of her ability let her not only control the time of the place in which she is, but can influence the flow of time of a person, a specific object, or even small zones if she so desires, such as stopping the time of an object and thus affecting the space, making it stand still on thin air or creating time suspension fields where everything inside them will be affected by her ability. She can also accelerate or decelerate the movement of objects from slowed down speed to incredibly high speed, to even reaching the speed of light, making it move at tremendous speed. However, as it is difficult to reverse events that have already occurred, and since she is not able to return broken things to how they were originally, even if she reversed time, in reality it is not possible to reverse time, so even our time manipulator has her limits. However, she is able to do things to the extent of moving things back to where they were originally. She has shown the ability to erase time of an object from a respectable timeline, such as erasing bullets of the present and then the future, making them non-existent. So she can easily erase you from this timeline and other ones. That's probably not a good thing, I think anyway. She is also able to manipulate space and can narrow or lengthen it. She made the skeleton of a mansion, which was originally spacious, even more abundantly spacious. And furthermore, just like this, she cleans alone. And while you can clean without a second passing by, it still sounds like a pain with how large the mansion is being described. Zuno said that manipulation of time is synonymous with manipulation of space, as it's well known space and time are related as a four-dimensional Lorentzian space within a Pseudo-Riemannian manifold. Yeah, let's pretend I actually knew what that was before making this. By manipulating space-time, Sakuya is able to create parallel universes to some degree of extent, allowing her to make another Sakuya appear in front of her, which will execute a different action to that of the original, and thus creating a time paradox. Great! Not only can she stop time, she can make clones as well. Truly the perfect maid! According to Perfect Memento, the power to control time is a power that a human can possibly have, but isn't acquired just from training. Yeah, I'd hope so, or everyone and their bloody grandmas would be stopping time at this point. In the games, using this ability, she scatters an infinite quantity of knives after placing all of them that was just explained earlier. Akio believes Sakuya has managed to live so long while still looking like a teenager by manipulating time. It's true that Sakuya can increase the speed at which something ages, such as making bamboo flowers bloom instantly in Marissa's A ending of EOSD, even though this would normally take 60 years. It seems safe to assume she can decelerate aging for a specific object too, so Sakuya kinda has her own sense of immortality then. Good to know. Music. While she's appeared in a few games, she doesn't have much when it comes to original music. She has 2 boss themes and 1 stage theme. In my previous video, I didn't include stage themes because Marissa and Reimu had a bunch of boss themes to begin with, but given the amount that Sakuya has, I think it couldn't hurt. So her stage theme in EOSD was The Maid in the Pocket Watch of Blood. Her boss theme in the game was Luna Clock, Luna Dial. And her last one was Flowering Night from Phantasmagoria.